future of virtual motorsports is now. This September, the heart of sim racing beats in Chicagoland as the Sim Gaming Expo takes over the Schaumburg Convention Center, September 5th through the 7th. Go wheel to wheel in our competition area, test the latest gear, meet top brands, creators, and celebrate with fellow sim racing enthusiasts. Whether you're a seasoned sim racer or new to the sport, this is your chance to be part of history. To purchase tickets and see the full exhibitor lineup, visit simgamingexpo.com.
Well, hello and welcome, everybody. Good evening. Happy Sunday to you all. I'm Gary Gonzo. Welcome to P1's broadcasting coverage of Round 3 of Season 8 of the longest continuous running DW12 series on iRacing today. It's a Dark Horse Racing Series presented by The Joy of Driving as we come to you tonight from Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway for the Sim Gaming Expo 135. And also joining me in the booth as qualifications are currently getting ready to wrap up is Andrew Wood. Andrew, good to have you here.
Definitely great to be here at Gateway tonight. It's a night race, which is always a very exciting situation for these guys. You never really know what you're going to get in a night race, especially just the whole setting and the ambiance is a little bit different. It's a little bit cooler temperatures, and really anything can happen here. So I'm excited to see what happens tonight.
And we are lining up to go racing here. Qualifications are done. We'll get in tonight's starting lineup here just momentarily. And your weather conditions tonight, again, weather conditions shouldn't be impacting these drivers at all. 76 degrees on the ambient, 78 on the track temperature. Decent humidity, but nothing above 40%. And a light wind, 4 miles per hour from the southeast right now.
Cars are lining up on the grid here and going to do one pace lap before we get going. So looks like we have some regular people sitting up at the front.
And let's get into tonight's starting lineup here real quick. So we'll get the weather off there. On the pole is our points leader, Eric Schaus. He's not playing around this year. He's got a win and another podium, so he's looking to definitely defend that title. Right next to him is Craig Forsyth, and it is Peterson, who is in one of the Penske liveries. He is lining up third. And then we got Casey Hovalonis, the big cheese. He is currently on row 2. Then we got Johnson and Wilson, row 3. Murph and Dinsdale on row 4. Last race winner, Martins and Hobson on row 5 as we are getting ready to, as we are moving underway here. Anderson and Presley at row 6. LGN, that's right, the infamous LGN. Luis Gonzalez Nunez on row 7 with Say Hey Lewis Hayes. Vitor and Marcamini on row 8. Pahutsky and Hysong on row 9. Lovern and Teed on row 10. Santos and Wagner, that's a row to watch right there from row 11. Salvador and Coker in 12. And Averett in row 13. 25 cars tonight getting ready to start to take the green flag here at the Sim Gaming Expo 135 at Gateway.
25 cars at Gateway is always a very nice turnout. I'm sure these guys are excited to have a very interesting mid-pack battle. Some of these guys that didn't qualify so well are really going to try and move up front as best they can, and maybe do some stuff through strategy and kind of let the race play out as it may. If you get lucky with an early caution or something like that, do a little bit of a pit stop and have enough fuel to go for a whole nother stint. But looks like we're getting ready to go here.
Lights are out on the pace car. Our points leader and pole sitter will bring us down to start this race. A very slow restart, but we are underway here. Going into turn one as Schaus blinks out at a dangerous time right as everyone piles into turn one.
It looks like, I believe that was Dinsdale, or, yeah, I believe Dinsdale kind of rushed into turn one a little bit and got a little bit checked up. Lost a spot or two there, but no harm, no foul. He's still going. We're very clean through the rest of the field. Everyone's going pretty strong, and we got some double file stuff happening in the mid-pack here, but the front's starting to single file a little bit.
Schaus, your leader, is Forsyth, Casey, Peterson, and Turner Johnson just getting a position loss to Murph. Murph moves up to fifth. Forsyth purple lap that time by. Oh, big run on the high side, Gary Lovern. Marcamini.
Mid-pack is getting very feisty here.
It is.
Watching P13, the battle right now. It's 2x2x2 going through turn 4 right now. This track is just very interesting because you have to drive turn 1 and 2 so differently from turn 3 and 4. It's a very tight turn 1 and 2. These cars kind of wash up the track on the exit, and some of these guys could get a little bit loose on the exit if they're not too careful. And then it's very, very flat with sort of a lower banking through turn 3 and 4, and you can really ride out any line you want there. You ultimately want to go for the bottom as best you can. But if you run the middle line too, you do carry a lot of speed down the front straightaway and hopefully make the dive into turn 1.
Matt Wagner and Casey Pahutsky in a battle of vintage DW12 liveries, the GoDaddy livery and the Aero Smith Peterson livery. Both cars driven by Hinch.
Seems that Schaus and Forsyth have gotten a little bit of a gap going from Eric Peterson in third, who's under attack from Murph right now. Murph jumping up 3 spots from his starting spot right now and going for 4 as he makes the move on the inside of Peterson going into turn 1. It's kind of what I was mentioning before. He rode kind of that middle line as best he could through 3 and 4 and had that run down the front straightaway. Couldn't quite get it done through 1 and 2, and now he leaves himself a little bit exposed to Turner Johnson.
Caution. Shane Coker.
Was it Coker? Yeah. Coker had a little bit of a moment. It looks like actually it was kind of what I was just talking about a couple moments ago. You go up the hill and at the exit at 2 sometimes, and the car gets a bit light. And if you if you have just a little too much wheel into it, the back of the car really wants to turn around, and you don't really see that until the tires really start to wear out. And that's not really where we're at here on lap 7. So very, very interesting to see that happen so early. It's kind of a warning sign to some of these guys in this race tonight, so kind of watch out. If you're riding up that hill on the exit at 2 too much, you might lose the back end.
And coming to pit road is our leader. Got to be very careful on the pit road. This is one of those pit roads that will come back and give you a penalty, whether you knew it or not, passing under the caution. So you got to be very, very careful when you're on the apron on that access road. And our leader is coming to pit road along with Peterson.
Jacob Wilson's also coming in. This is very, very early to make a pit stop, Gary. I'm very curious to see what the strategy play is here. You give up all that track position trying to come in and top off a little bit of fuel. It doesn't seem to make a lot of sense to me, but I'm just up here in the booth trying to watch a race. So these guys might have a whole different experience going on, calculators going and different people talking in their ear. So I understand definitely the back of the pack always comes in to just fuel up because you're not losing anything.
And two black flags. I'm sorry, don't mean to cut you off. Two black flags. I told you this is a problem. Two black flags, Schaus and Peterson passing under the caution. Now, whether or not race control could get those reversed, that is currently what we see as the leader and points leader, pole sitter as well, coming to pit road, gets the black flag, and Peterson as well.
I'm actually going back to look at it because this track is very much known for the black flag situation, because if you're trying to kind of measure yourself alongside someone that's on the track, if you even kind of put one front wing nose ahead of someone right at the wrong time where iRacing measures it, it can give you a black flag. So I'm actually kind of rewatching right now to see that. It looks like I'm watching Eric Peterson right now, and that's a definite penalty for him. And Eric Schaus as well. He's well ahead of the pace car. This is a slam dunk penalty, Gary.
That is very unfortunate. So they're going to have to start this race in a bit of a hole, and those guys have decided not to stop. That might have been the call as we're getting ready to go green next time by. It's going to be Forsyth, Murphy, Johnson, last race winner, John Martins, and LG in your top five. And so what we got going on here now is those guys, Schaus and Peterson, they at least have a drive-through penalty when this thing goes back to green.
Yeah, the best they could hope for at this point is some sort of a quick yellow while they're in the pit lane. That will get them right back on schedule again. Even though they're at the back of the pack, it's much better than going 1 or 2 laps down here. So I think it's actually... it's a little sad here, but it's good it's happening on lap 10 and not lap 110, because if it happened very much later in the race, you're pretty much cooked. So we'll see if these guys just do their drive-through fast and get a good yellow, and they can be right back in it again. We could see them back in front again.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag in the air, back underway, and LGN's not wasting any time on the Brazilian in front of him. This is the battle between the Chilean and the Brazilian, a battle of South America right here. And LGN, who's my broadcast partner on Monday and Tuesday nights, currently up to 5th behind last race winner Martins. Martins running down Turner Johnson off the corner.
Very clean restart from everyone in the field, and you're right. It looks like that's the closest battle on track right now is LGN right on the back of John Martins. Turner Johnson didn't have the best start, but he's hanging in there and didn't lose the spot, so now he could just focus forward and try and catch those 2 cars ahead of him. Looks like Murph and Forsyth are side-by-side coming out of turn 4 right now, and I think Murph is going to think better of it. I don't know if he dies here. I don't think he's going to get the spot. Yeah, he just kind of hangs on the left rear there, gives Forsyth the spot, but you see right behind them, looks like LGN was making the move there on John Martins and didn't quite get it done. It's very, very difficult to make that pass in turn 1 and 2. You really have to kind of send it, and your car has to be pristine on the exit to do the slide job there.
Yeah, turn 1 and 2 looks like the high side is the preferred line to get your pass done, but over in 1 and 3 and 4, the low side is the preferred lane to get your pass done.
That's typically how it's done here, but I think these cars, with the cooler temperatures and the high downforce situation happening right now, it's going to be very difficult to get an overspeed on the exit at 2 to make a really clean pass happen. It could happen if you catch someone off guard a little bit, especially if someone's trying to save a couple of little half gallons of fuel here and there during a run. You may see someone say, okay, you can take the spot ahead of me. But if it's a nose-to-nose situation where people are going full tilt, it's going to be very difficult to make the pass happen at the exit of 2. You're really going to want to try and set it up at the exit of 2 and go for it in 3 and 4.
It is a pretty busy lap here in a race car that doesn't involve a lot of racing tools. Caution on the racetrack. And that is Leo Salvador.
Salvador, yep. It looks like it could be another turn 2 situation, but
yes, it is.
Replay.
And we'll go back a little bit further and get here before he gets to the corner, but it looks like a snap loose condition. Schaus and Peterson did answer the black flag. They are now 2 laps down. But here is Leo Salvador. And much the same way that we saw with Coker, except with a lot more contact and needing to use that fast repair that everyone has access to. And you talked about it. It is, as you make that turn, the back end comes right around, and into the inside wall he goes. Big hit.
We're seeing pretty much the whole field come down pit lane. I don't see anybody staying. Oh, it looks like Edson's actually going to stay out. So Edson on back are going to stay out. So that's going to hurt the efforts of Schaus and Peterson to get their lap back.
And again, even the guys on the racetrack can't pass under caution. If the guys on the apron can't pass under caution, the guys on the racetrack can't pass under caution. And then at some point, they can only go so fast. And eventually the sim will let everyone on by without a black flag. But it's so, this is one of the problem tracks. This track and Homestead, and if depending on what configuration and what rules you use for, I think Nashville, you can get them done. You can get much the same way with the pit access road. But everyone on pit road right now. Edson stays out. Charlie Teed stays out. Wag stays out. Say Hey Lewis Hayes stays out. Shane Coker visited pit road a little bit earlier with his first caution spin. So Forsyth will come out in 6th position. Murphy in 7th. Turner Johnson in 8th. John Martin's in 9th. And LGN in 10th.
So I saw that we have a lucky dog here. So it looks like Schaus actually was able to drive around the field, got his lap back. So he's got one of his lap backs right now. And he's sitting in pit lane. So Schaus is kind of on the road to getting his race back in order here. He gets a free pit stop. He gets a lucky dog. And he'll be only 1 lap down compared to Peterson's 2 laps down.
We have a lot of sponsors tonight. If you enjoy our coverage of the Dark Horse Racing Series presented by the Joy of Driving and respect the stream, please do us a solid. Make sure you support us by subscribing, and while you're at it, don't forget to smash like and click the bell so you don't miss out on future P1 iRacing broadcasts. The Dark Horse Racing Series is presented to you by the Joy of Driving. Follow Mark Cohn's sim racing adventures full of sharp driving and sharp wit. Subscribe on YouTube or follow on Facebook. All the links you need are in the description. Also, tonight's race has been brought to you by Sim Gaming Expo, 4D Racewear, and Sim Wrap Market. We'll talk more about them today, but all the links you need to get to those sponsors are in the description. Specifically, we do want to talk about the Sim Gaming Expo. It's the ultimate simulation gaming experience. The Sim Gaming Expo is bringing all genres of simulation and gaming technology under one roof. Join us September 5th through 7th in Chicagoland at the Schaumburg Convention Center to try out the latest gear for the biggest brands in the industry. You want to meet your favorite streamers and celebrate your passion for simulation with our incredible community. Don't miss out. Learn more. To get your tickets now, go to simgamingexpo.com and be a part of simulation gaming history today. Getting ready to go green. Edson Santos probably with the wise move to stay out. Track position means an awful lot here. A very tough racetrack to pass. He's going to get a jump on the field as Santos, Teed, Wags, Hayes, and Murphy going all into one.
I got to check in with you here. Forsyth got a speeding penalty when he left his box, so he had to start from the longest line. So he's all the way back in 21st place right now. So he has a long road to make up. Looks like a lot of these contenders are having a lot to deal with right now.
Much like our IIS race at Detroit yesterday. No one wants to win it right now, but we're still early. Lap 21 of 135. Charlie Teague now your new leader as he gets under Santos and gets the position.
Forsyth's already making up spots left and right now. He's already passed 4 cars since the restart. Looks like he's going for a 5th right now through 3 and 4. He's racing a little bit agitated right now. I'm sure he's kicking himself for that speeding penalty on the exit there. So Forsyth has a little bit of ground to make up. But like I mentioned before, the Schaus and the Peterson situation, it happened on lap 20 and not 120. So there's plenty of time to make up ground here.
And Wag sets the purple lap that time by. He is currently in 3rd spot. And in the draft of the leader, so he's getting maximum low pressure zone in front of him, pulling him right ahead. Santos wanting that lead back. Go ahead.
Looks like Forsythe was trying to kind of deke Jeff Haisong a little bit on the exit of turn 2, and he almost had contact, but it looks like he made the pass complete, so put Forsythe now up to P17.
We have Tim Presley in turns 3 and 4 down on the apron.
Oh, that was a very unfortunate several car incident there that I think Presley tried to avoid.
Oh, that was Pahutsky, I believe, getting into Averett, and then Presley gets down to take evasive action. He gets down on the apron on the rumble strips down there and unloads the car, and that will definitely bring out a caution here.
This is going to put Schaus back on the lead lap again because he'll be the lucky dog recipient once again. So he'll be sitting the last car on the lead lap in P23 once we get going again. So Schaus already making up for his few errors there going on.
It took him less than 10 laps. It's just the way that these cautions have decided to fall out. So he'll eventually get the wave around. The rule set for tonight, this is a fixed setup race provided by the league. 80% fuel, unlimited tires, one fast repair, pit road speed limit, I believe is 40 miles per hour here. I could be wrong, but this is a 1.25 mile egg-shaped oval. Turns 1 and 2 much more narrower than turns 3 and 4. We're doing 135 laps here tonight. 168, almost 169 miles for race miles. And we are under our third caution already of the evening as traffic getting out of the way for our wave around recipients.
See, Schaus is kind of trying to slither his way through here. He may actually do another pit stop. Why not at this point? Get yourself the freshest tires possible, seeing as you're sitting at the back of the field. Let's see if he dives into the pit here. Oh, he's just going to do the wave around. He only pitted like about 7 laps ago, so he's still got pretty fresh tires. So he's just going to join the back of the pack. He's back on the lead lap again, and now Eric Peterson is kind of antsy in his seat, saying, "Okay, my turn. Let's get another caution, and I'll start getting my wave arounds now and get back onto the lead lap again."
Car sideways on the pit out access road. That is Casey Pahutsky, but he is back straightened out. Eric Anderson showing with a black flag at the moment, maybe possibly passing under caution. And now Schaus is down on the pit access road, and he will come to pit road. Pit road is closed, but he will go to the back of the pack anyways. I saw him coming to pit road there.
So checking back in on Forsythe again. So he restarted the race in 22nd and moved all the way up to 17th. He really made a lot of hay right there. So he was very, very heavily battling with, I believe it was Coker. I think he got by Coker there. So he's just outside the top 10 right now. And I think Forsythe is going to pick up a few more spots here on the restart.
Lights are out on the pace car. The IndyCar track record here is 192.3, set by Will Power back in 2020. The career wins leaders here at Gateway is Joseph Newgarden. Has 4, including 3 in a row from 2020 to 2022, and he is also your defending winner going into this season with the Gateway round just coming up here in a few weeks. Scott Dixon has 2. And a lot of drivers that reads like the who's who of IndyCar history have won, such as Paul Tracy, Alex Zanardi, Michael Andretti, Juan Montoya, Al Unser Jr., Gil DeFerrin, Elio Castroneves, Will Power, and Takuma Sato. Green flag in the air. Edson Santos wasting no time. We're back underway.
We got a little bit checked up around P10, P11, but everyone's going nicely. I'm still watching Forsythe. I want to see what kind of moves he has going on here on the restart and into the second lap of the race. Looks like he actually is kind of fallen back a little bit. He's dropped back, and actually Casey Povolonis up ahead of him is making a move going into turn 3 on Jacob Wilson.
John Martin's around Say Hey Lewis Hayes. Now Luis Gonzalez Nunez around Lewis Hayes.
Kovalonis gets that job done up to P13 now, and it was very tight, very tight at the exit through there.
Vitor just gives the Brazilian slide right to Matthias Marcamini.
Kovalonis is kind of settled in right now in P13. He's going for another spot up ahead of him here in P12, but yeah, it looks like the bottom part of the top 10 has kind of started to pull away a little bit. Looks like it was Dinsdale, AJ, and Gary Laverne. They're battling for P8 right now. Looks like Dinsdale is going to go on the high side, try to make that middle lane work. He's going to have a lot of speed going down the front straightaway, but really not enough because it looks like Hobson's got that draft off Gary Laverne. Hobson's going to go for it.
New leader, Matt Wagner is your leader. Santos back to second. Murph now in third. We do have lap car involved up at the front. That's Eric Peterson trying to get one of his laps back the old way. That is racing for it on the racetrack instead of the lucky dog wave around. He now falls back to fourth in line. But if he really just keeps it up right now, he is the first car one lap down. Another caution, he might get a lap back. He will get that lap back, actually.
Craig Forsyth picks up a spot on Jacob Wilson. He's now in P14, crawling his way back up towards the front again.
Murph trying to get around Santos. Side by side off of 2. The high line on this end of the racetrack is the preferred line. Now can Murph get back to that rear attenuator and make another stab at it? Sometimes to set someone up for a pass here, it's a better part of a lap just to do it. Here's Murph to the inside. The preferred line is not the inside line in the 1 and 2. He's going to try it this time. No. High side comes back again as the victor that time. A little bit further back, Lovern around A.J. Hobson on the high side.
Looked like Hobson was trying to make the move in turn 1 and couldn't quite get it done. Lovern keeps the spot and Hobson falls back, and now he's in the clutches of Dinsdale, I believe that is, behind. Dinsdale's alongside, but I think Hobson's going to keep the spot in turn 1. If he keeps
There's a low side pass by Murphy. He gets on by, completes it. But Santos not letting the battle go away, so he's going to take a stab at the inside in turns 3 and 4, and he gets it back as these two continue to swap for position. All the while, Matty Wags right up in front of him in the GoDaddy car is just starting to slowly scoot away and put a lead on these guys.
Craig Forsyth picks off another one. Casey Povolonis loses a spot there. He might lose another spot. It looks like he'll actually hang on right there on the exit of 2 from Jacob Wilson. So Forsyth now up to P13.
And Schaus, who started from the pole, our very early leader, got a black flag for passing under caution. He is now back on the lead lap in 17th spot, and he's behind Charlie Teed. Caution, and it's Murph.
Oh, no.
What happened? Is it just a case of getting loose on the corner, going into the corner side by side with Edson once again? And that's a big hit. I don't know if Murph can get back or he's going to have to tow. What happens here? Oh, netcode contact.
It looks like Edson had a little bit of a bobble on the exit of 2 there, which is what we see when we see this climbing up the hill situation. And Edson was kind of up on the hill already, and he had a little bit of a bobble, and he kind of pitched the car to the left a little bit, and unfortunately the internet was not good to Mark Murphy, who went spinning into the grass there on the left side.
Let's check this out here. And yeah, there was a whole half a car width there, but here's the inside. The outside line starts coming into play here, right about in the middle of turn 2. And yeah, there was a little bit of a netcode side check there. But Mark is driving it, so he's going to try to bring it to pit road and get that fast repair that they have access to. But very early stages here. and another caution, and he's using his fast repair already in the first 40 laps here. But we had some pit stops occur. A.J. Hobson is going to pick up the lead. In front of him is Eric Peterson. Peterson is going to get the wave around. So Peterson will go back on the lead lap, and I think Anderson also will get the lucky dog. So 2 cars will re-enter this race or resume this race at the green flag back on the lead lap.
Yeah, that's very, very lucky for Eric Anderson. He'll get the lucky dog, and Eric Peterson, being the first car behind the pace car, will get the wave around when these cars settle out here. So we're going to have all of our cars back on the lead lap again. So kind of back to normal and back to regularly scheduled programming for these guys.
Tonight's race has been brought to you by Sim Gaming Expo 4D Racewear and Sim Wrap Market. Check out 4D's line of made-for-sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparel. Visit them today at 4dracewear.com or click on the link in the description. Sim Wrap Market is your go-to source for iRacing paint templates and broadcast resources. Sim Wrap Market has everything you need to build your brand on track. Visit simwrapmarket.com. Download, customize, race. As we see Peterson getting the wave around, that turns the lead over to A.J. Hobson, who will bring us back to green. Mateus Marcamini in second. Vitor in third. Jacob Wilson in the 05-1. And we talked to Jacob at the last race we had, and he's still learning these cars. And again, doing a good job again today. He's in fourth. And Charlie Teed, who we saw him battling a little bit further on back, stays out for track position. He is in fifth. Eric Schaus stays out. He gets track position. He's up to sixth. Coker in seventh. Tim Presley in eighth. Then we have Casey Pahutsky in ninth and Matt Wagner in 10th as part of that last group of leaders that pitted at this particular caution. So a bunch of competing different strategies going on, but it looks to me like track position is really what people are after here at Gateway.
We see a lot of different strategies being employed here. We're going to see different strategies play out as the race goes on here. It looks like the pace car is coming in. AJ is going to lead him back to green here.
Green, green, green.
It is Hobson, the old Ed Carpenter fuzzy vodka livery, followed by Mateus Marcamini and that NTT data livery that we saw Chip Ganassi Racing use in the DW12 days. Caution. Oh, we got it still wrecking in the back. 2 teammates involved. Teed also involved. So Teed's going to be able to get to pit road and get. Yeah, I think we got two different incidents going on. Teed's going to get the pit road, get that fast repair, but Edson Santos was involved, and it looks like he got in contact with John Martins. So 2 of the leader energy.
Looks like that the initial contact was between Schaus and Teed. So Eric Schaus really trying to get himself back up there again, and he really tried to push it on the entry to turn 3, and Charles T came down just a little bit, and there was a little bit of contact there. Very, very hard to place the blame on that one, I feel. It looks like Martins came in there a little bit late. I think he was trying to squeeze right on the inside there, and he made contact with Pahutsky.
Pahutsky was trying to come down to avoid any car contact with the car on the high side, and he just comes down, and John was trying to slide into that spot, and then he actually makes contact with his teammate. So both those guys, it looks like they can drive around, come to pit road, and they'll have to execute that fast repair, and we're back under caution again.
Very unfortunate for Charles T there, who was just kind of hanging out in the mid-pack there and didn't really expect a car to come diving on the inside like that. And unfortunately, there was a little bit of contact right on the entry to turn 3, but I think Teed is probably wondering how this happened, how he was able to turn into the corner and then just the car was on the inside, and next thing he knows, he's spinning backwards into the wall.
And it looks like in chat, the Brazilians have definitely checked in. I have no idea what What's it going on in chat?
We can only guess, Gary.
But apparently he's a ninja. That word I can read.
That is one word you can definitely read.
I can read. He's a ninja. Although, with as many times as he posted, normally ninjas are stealthy and silent. Very vocal ninja.
There's a ninja indeed.
So, A.J. Hobson, last time he pitted, he's 26 laps into his stint. He pitted on lap 18. And I think he's got the strategy. Just stay out, because it seems that there, right now at least, there doesn't seem to be a shortage to this string of cautions that everyone it seems to be having some issue one time or another, whether it be just netcode contact or just extremely hard and aggressive racing very early in this race. I mean, we're not even to lap 50 yet.
It'll eventually thin out, and we'll get these guys going on a green flag run. I'm confident of that. It always kind of happens that way. You get the bug shaken out on the first stint, and then suddenly you see yourself running a green flag run and everything like that, and you're like, okay, well, now I got to figure out my strategy just on the long green flag run situation that you didn't really expect would happen.
We're going to go green this time by coming to lap 45. Pace car is off. AJ has the lead, and he does not waste any time. He goes green right away. It is Hobson, Marcamini, Vitor, Wilson, and Schaus now your top five. And about 20 laps ago, if you would have asked us if Schaus would have been in the top five, we would have said, well, maybe at the end of the day, but with the way the lucky dog works their way around here, he got 2 laps back in very quick order. He is now P5. LGN taking a stab to the inside of Matty Wags. Does not get the pass pulled off, but he's going to be right in his wake coming off of 4.
Turner Johnson going for a move on Gary Lovern for P10, I believe that is. So we got these guys going here. They're ready to go racing. These guys really want to get themselves going here, and they want to do it now. And Craig Forsyth is making his moves, and he's been very, very patiently finding his way towards the top 10 again after his incident from the pit lane before. So count Craig Forsyth up a spot. He's going to be P12 now.
And Murphy got the fast repair. He's racing Dinsdale through turn 1.
Get 3 wide for a second, going into turn 3 there for P7, I believe that is. They're still going for it. Timothy Presley, LGN is on the inside, and he's trying to make his move now going into turn 1. But A.J. Hobson is sorry, that's Matt Wagner.
Whoa!
Very similar car
in the wall.
He has Presley.
Presley bounces off it. He loses a little momentum and also a little bit of evasive action taken by Matty Wags. Wags gets underneath. LGN gets the position back. These both are battling now for 7th and 8th.
Forsyth's making another move into turn 1 right now. Looks like he's going to try and get P11 from, I believe that's Gary Lovern. Squeezes him a little bit on the exit. No contact there, but looks like Lovern's
coming off
got
of turn 2, it is Mark Averett. Again, loose off the corner. Down on the grass. We're not green yet. He's trying to get that injured car at least in a straight line so he can come to pit road and get the fast repair. Here come the leaders.
Jacob Wilson gets a little tight on the exit of turn 2. Here comes Wagner by. It looks like LGN's going to try and make that move through 3 and 4. He gets it done. Move Jacob Wilson back to P8, I believe that is. And Matt Wagner's now up in P6. Battle's happening all across the track here, Gary. It's
yeah, where do you want to look?
What this brings. Yeah, exactly. I'm kind of thumbing through all the battles that are happening everywhere, and I mean, I'm still shocked that Schaus has managed to find his way battling for a P3 again. He's really, really close to getting back up on the podium. He's right behind Vitor. He's got clear track behind him. No one's really threatening him from behind, so he can kind of pick his line and pick what he wants to do. And these guys behind are really, really battling very hard, and they're kind of falling back a little bit from where you'd expect them to be battling.
and Schaus getting around Vitor. Moves Schaus now up to third.
Everyone's kind of stacking up behind Wagner right now. Wagner, LGN going for P6 right now. Looks like LGN's trying to look, thinks better of it, doesn't really go for a move there. And right behind them, that big, huge hornet's nest of cars that are going for the top 10. And Forsyth is definitely one of them. Forsyth is trying to pick up all the spots he can from his early mistake there on pit road. Wow, look at that. I believe that's Gary Lovern going around the outside of Jacob Wilson. Wilson loses another couple spots. Forsyth gets around, and right behind him, another battle. Murph is coming through the pack as well. Murphy's on the inside of Turner Johnson. He gets the job done almost. Looks like Murphy's going to fall back a little bit. Very close going to turn one.
Contact number two! Coker smashes into the side. We got 3 cars involved. 4 cars involved.
Averett's involved as well, I believe.
So it originally started with Coker and Wags as they were battling for position. And this starts very early.
Turn 4 actually looks like.
Yeah, back in turn 4. So Coker getting under Averett. Averett just, now he's executed his fast repair, so he's just trying to stay out of everyone's lane. But everyone just kind of gets packed up behind Averett. And then you see a very aggressive move by Wags to try to get to the inside and pick up this position. But now he's side by side with Coker. Now they go through the corner, and I think we might have had, again, a little bit of net code. No, just loose, and then a side check. And then it goes into Wags, goes to the inside wall, and then Averett gets involved, and then Forsyth involved.
Unfortunately, that seems to have collected Craig Forsyth as well. He's got a floppy right front tire. He's sitting on pit entry right now, so he's going to get himself repaired. Hopefully, we'll see what happens with Craig Forsyth. But he was also collected in the incident from Averett's car trying to be recovered right in the middle of the track there.
Everything happening so quickly. He might be able to make it back. It looks like he has at least one wheel, at least from this angle, that he can steer and make it to pit road and get that fast repair. Pit road's alive at the moment, but LGN stays out. 18 laps into this stint. He last pitted on lap 39. Turner Johnson stays out. Murph stays out. Murph has already executed that fast repair. Then we got a bit of another different type of strategy, 4 laps difference. John Martin's Casey Povolonis, Pahutsky, and then Teeden Santos. They're all right around 14, 15 laps into their stint. They're on a slightly different strategy, starting in 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, I believe. Yes. And then everyone just stopped from 9th on back.
So I watched that incident again, Gary, and I was curious who the ninja was in that case. And if you want to watch Lewis Hayes, say hey Lewis Hayes. I think he was the ninja in that case because he went left, right, left, right, 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 left, left, right, left, and managed to get his way through it. So if we're looking for ninjas in this race, I think we're going to look at say hey Lewis Hayes.
The old up, up, down, down, left, right, left, right. And Forsyth, after executing the fast repair, is going to cut the pit road one more time, just probably to touch the tank up here. Wagner had the tow, and he is on pit road. He just got the fast repair. He is back rolling again. So Forsyth is going to stay on the lead lap, but he's got to fight from the rear of the field one more time.
I was going to say Wagner is the next recipient of the Lucky Dog should we have another caution. Hopefully we don't. We can get some green flag running going here. I'm sure these guys are also feeling kind of the same thing, but as we look at what's happening on the grid here, LGN has managed to find his way to the lead, but Turner Johnson second, Mark Murphy, a nice recovery sitting in third right now.
LGN, winner in these, he's not going to waste any time. He gets a big jump. Winner in the Speedway Series in Lionheart at the highest level these cars have ever competed at. Well, much like you, Andrew. He got a win in that series. So did Craig Forsyth. He got a win in that series. Mark Murphy, a multi-time winner here in the Dark Horse Series.
Almost kind of the Lionheart Series reincarnated in this Sunday night situation with a little bit more drama, a little bit more guys trying to figure out what they do. We got 3 wide going into turn 1 right now. Looks like it's Mark Amini, Schaus, and AJ Hobson going forward.
Murphy with 2 wins in this series. Johnson, no wins in this series. Looking strong today, trying to stay in the draft of the DW12. As Murph blinks out, then comes back into the picture. Turner Johnson staying right with him. We're 3 wide off the corner behind. Teed on the inside. Now he tucks back in. Pahutsky trying to get on by Povolonis.
He tried the low line there and kind of forced a little bit of the outside line there from Povolonis. And Edson actually gets a nice little run at the exit of 2 there and goes for it in turn 3 on Povolonis. Povolonis has nothing to answer for on the exit, except he still has the draft of Pahutsky up ahead. So we're going to have a nice little battle here going through 1 and 2.
Song took it 3 wide there for a moment. He gets down low underneath Peterson. That is for 18th position.
Hobson might have touched the wall in the exit of 2 last lap. I think his car is okay, but this is a hornet's nest here.
Oh my gosh.
On part of the top 10.
Oh, Mark Amini.
I see an incident happening any second with these guys. They're going 3 wide in turn 3 right now. Looks like Schaus is going for it. Schaus is getting not 1, not 2, but 3 cars on the exit. Povolonis has no answer for him on the exit. Has to lift when Schaus pulls his car up high. Schaus picks up 3 spots, P6.
There, 2 cars into the wall and 1.
That was Charles Teed. He lifted a little earlier than probably, I think that's Wagner that's behind him, was expecting, or Hobson. And I think both cars got away unscathed, but let me check Hobson's front wing here. His front wing looks all right.
Everybody now in single file. Hobson, big run through the corner on the gets to the attenuator of Teed.
I wonder if Teed's got a little bit of damage happening there after that incident. Looks like he's kind of going a little bit high.
Caution.
Coker is very slow on the front straightaway. I wonder if it's that.
All right. Go back in time here.
Yeah, Coker has a self spin out of turn 4.
Also see that Presley may have crashed, at least according to the session event. So we'll see. I think what he did is he blinked out, and it was such a significant blink out that the sim thought he crashed. But now we'll go to Coker. This is going into turn 3. And this may have been just kind of by himself. Yeah, just loose, all on his own. And that's sideways in the racing line, and that will 100% bring out the caution as Eric Anderson scoots on by. He had the view of the race right there. Here's the view from Anderson's just over his head. He should be looking down. He should see that car sideways in front of him. Pick a line, pick a line. There he goes. LGN, Murphy coming to pit road. So different strategies now in play. And last race winner at Pocono, John Martins is your leader. As the leader energy squad has 2 cars now at the front of the pack. John Martins, Vitor, P1, P2, Mark Amini, P3, Lewis Hayes. Very consistently, very quietly, it worked his way up to P4. And Jacob Wilson again much like he did at Pocono, where he got on the podium. He is now in P5 with his teammate right behind him. That is Tim Presley. Dinsdale in 7th, Forsyth. But just by staying out and getting that track position, that's the best way to do it around here. He was at the back end of the field. He is now in 8th. Peterson in 9th, and LGN coming off of pit road in 10th. Lights are still on the pace car. If you're just joining us, this is P1's broadcasting coverage of the Dark Horse Racing Series presented by the Joy of Driving, coming to you from Gateway for the Sim Gaming Expo 135. We've now completed 68 of 135 scheduled laps. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race. Dark Horse Racing Series is presented to you by the Joy of Driving. Follow Mark Cohn's sim racing adventures full of sharp wit and driving skill and driving wit. Subscribe on YouTube or follow on Facebook. The links are in the description. And tonight's Gateway 135 is brought to you by the Sim Gaming Expo. Get ready for the ultimate simulation gaming experience. The Sim Gaming Expo is bringing all genres of simulation and gaming technology under one roof. Join us September 5th through 7th in Chicagoland at the Schaumburg Convention Center. Don't miss out. To learn more, to get your tickets now, go to simgamingexpo.com and be a part of simulation gaming history today. Of course, also check out 4D Racewear, sponsors of the Dark Horse Series. Check out their line of made-for-sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparel. Visit them at 4dracewear.com. And, of course, SimWrap Market, your go-to source for all iRacing paid templates and broadcast resources. Visit simwrapmarket.com. Download, customize, race. Getting ready to go green here, coming to lap 70.
Got some new names back out front again. We've seen this before. Matt Wagner got one of his laps back. Let's see what happens on this restart.
Green flag, green flag.
And John Martins gets a big jump. He's got a little bit of a buffer in the form of his teammate right behind him, Matthias Marcamini, in the NTT Data livery. He is now battling Lewis Hayes. Lewis Hayes in the P1 broadcasting livery, trying to stay right with Marcamini, and he is right there on the attenuator, and he's going to have a good run off the corner on the inside, coming off a forward drag race down the front straight. Caution on the racetrack. Tim Presley.
I think that was a loose situation at turn 4 that Timothy could not save himself from.
And we'll see here. And I wonder what the challenges are out there. These cars, that got down on he got down on the apron there. He got down on the rumble strips. That really wasn't a handling issue. That was just getting down on those rumble strips. And as you know firsthand, getting down on those rumble strips, that will loosen the car up.
Especially on the first lap of a restart when you're really not back to your full acceleration yet. If you get any sort of a teeter-totter situation on the inside there where you're kind of digging your car down left sides on the curb, you find yourself upsetting the car, and that's unfortunate for Presley there. It's actually kind of difficult at Gateway because some of the curb is painted and some of the curb is actually a little bit more of an apron.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very difficult to keep your car down there for long periods of time. But if you're full tilt, kind of riding in 5th gear around the whole situation, that can actually help turn the car a little more.
Checking in chat, Sam Crow shouting out Lewis Hayes currently in 4th spot. You can check out Sam, and you can also check out Sam with this guy right here, Mark Murphy. Thursday and Friday nights, part of the AMA broadcast crew with the American Motorsports Association, their Xfinity and Truck Series. Thursday and Friday nights, check them out here right on the channel. Sam is the color commentary to Mark Murphy doing play-by-play. And the wave around, that is going to be Wags. So Wags is going to be back on the lead lap.
Another remarkable comeback here from someone who is several laps down after an incident, has to sit in the pits and take repairs, and next thing you know, you're back on the lead lap. So, I mean, I would like to see some of these guys get through about halfway of the race being in a top 10 situation, but we actually have no idea where we're going from here, Gary.
No, I know. It's like I'm not even sure what the strategy and the play is other than I think track position and staying out in front of a lot of the craziness of the mid-pack is the way to go here. And I think people staying out is the way to go. We're just past the halfway point, not too far away from that at 73 laps of 135 coming to 74. We're going to go green at 75. We watch Wags come to pit road and get service done and taken care of. And he will rejoin the field at the tail end. But John Martins and the Brazilian duo of Martins and Vitor Guilherme, they are 1 and 2 on the racetrack. Mateus Marcamini third, Lewis Hayes fourth, Jacob Wilson in fifth. Jacob did have his teammate with him up there at that last restart. Doesn't now, and now he has Craig Forsyth knocking on the door. And we have a relative, as he admits, kind of a relative rookie in these cars, Jacob Wilson, up against a relative old-timer in these cars with Craig Forsyth. So putting all that experience to use is Craig Forsyth, and he might try to pick up a couple of extra positions here early on this restart. Right behind him is Dinsdale LGN, very experienced in these cars at 8th. Peterson, very experienced in these cars at 9th. And Mark Murphy, we don't really need to talk about his experience. We know that he's got a lot of experience in these cars. And 10th, and then our defending series champion, Eric Schaus at 11th. We're going green. Martin's not wasting any time.
That's the best thing to do when you're out front. You know you're not going to get collected in anything or have any sort of car issues. Just go when you feel like you need to go, and that's what Martins has done. It looks like all these cars, we know for a fact going forward, we're going to have one more pit stop. So hopefully these cars can sort it out. We can get a nice little green flag run here, a little green flag pit stop action.
Vitor grabs the apron in 3 and 4, much like we saw what happened with Tim Presley, and that has stacked up everyone behind him as we are 3 wide going to the corner. Craig Forsyth down low has not cleared Marcamini. Marcamini up high, gets the position back, but we dodged a bullet there.
I had to go back and watch that my own self because I have no idea how we didn't. Yeah, that was Vitor with a huge shave, and yeah, you're right. It stacked up everybody behind, and looks like we're gonna really sort it out right now. But the big victor here is Martins, who has almost a 2-second lead on the whole field. So if there's anyone that knows they can cool down a little bit, it's John Martins.
And Lewis Hayes is in a really bad spot right now. He needs to get back in line. He is going to get freight trained on the outside every time they go through turns 1 and 2. And right now, there's just not an opening to slide up into. Here comes Schaus. Here's Jacob Wilson taking a peek to the inside on LGN. I don't think that's going to bother LGN at all. LGN's got the high line, the faster line. He holds that off. But Dinsdale now to the inside. He's going to get the preferred line going into 3 and 4. But here comes Murphy sending it down to the bottom, and he picks up 2 spots. A very opportunistic move for Murph.
Looks like Eric Schaus was trying to kind of bully Lewis Hayes a little bit in 3 and 4, and Peterson wanted to follow him, and Peterson had to check up just a little bit. Peterson didn't quite get the move done, but Peterson's kind of stacked in his sandwich now behind Lewis Hayes. I think Peterson's going to get him now, but Schaus is already going for his next victim in turn 3. Oh, Peterson very close to Lewis Hayes there.
That was lucky Netco did not take over there. Craig Forsyth now in second as LGN on the underside of Mateus, and I think there might have been some Netcode contact.
There's pile up at the exit of turn 2.
Big wreck. Big wreck.
I think that started with Marcamini outside.
And we'll watch this. And there is LGN. And this is really just no more than a racing deal. And a lot of netcode. Yeah, a lot of netcode. And so we see Marcamini go up into the wall, and then he bounces off it, and then he slides right in front of Dinsdale, collects Schaus with a big hit. We got one of the Leader Energy cars, one of the Dark Horse Racing cars, one of the Votive cars, Casey Pahutsky there, and the Arrow McLaren. Arrow Smith Peterson, Arrow car, he bounces through the grass. Say hey Lewis Hayes in the grass. High Song in the grass. I think Teed sneaks by as he was just at the back of the pack.
Yeah.
And
I'm
he just
taking a body count here, Gary. It looks like Lovern's out, Dinsdale's out, Schaus is out, Hobson's out, Povolonis is out. Actually, Povolonis might have gotten away with it. Peterson's out, Hayes is out. I think Teed got through it, and yeah, wow, that's at least 8 cars that are extremely damaged here. I think Hai Song might be okay. I think he squeaked through it in the grass.
I think Wags sneaks through it there. Eric Anderson makes his way through as they're just slowing down. Coker, but a lot of shells of Delaras on the infield and scattered down through the backstretch here at Gateway. So now, again, we had some cars come to pit road that time, and a number of cars getting repairs done. But LGN, as it happened right around him, now is our leader. Jacob Wilson is in second. Matt Wagner, who we just saw kind of wake his way through. He's kind of the Moses of all of our drivers here because everything parted ways in front of him. He is now up to third. Eric Anderson fourth. Coker in fifth. We'll go through and who's used fast repairs. A number of cars on pit road getting repairs done or calling it a day. So we'll reset the field. We're going green next time by. LGN is your leader. Jacob Wilson second. Wags in then third. Eric Anderson in fourth. Shane Coker in fifth. John Martins in sixth. Now he stopped on 82. He made his schedule, just went ahead and decided to go ahead and make it a scheduled stop. So he and Forsyth stopped. Vitor Garami stopped. Murphy also stopped. And then we got Gary Lovern, who did sneak through. He stopped. Turner Johnson, he was involved in the wreck, but came home, was able to make his way around, come to pit road, get the fast repair. He stopped. Povolonis, he is in 12th. High Song, 13th. Teed, 14th. Hayes, at one point in the top 5 now, 15th. Dinsdale, 16th. Edson Santos is in 17th, and the last car on the lead lap. Wow. Whew. So much changed, and we're getting ready to go green at lap 84.
Green flag, green flag.
And right behind our leader, battle already shaping up. John Martins taking a peek to the inside of Coker. Coker just lets him on by. I think he might have lifted a little bit. He might be damaged. I'm not sure. And you see 3 cars getting by him there. Forsyth as well as Vitor.
Trying to find, I think AJ Hobson did a pit stop there, so he's in front of our leaders. He's several laps down, obviously, but looks like he is ahead of the leaders, and we'll see how much guff he gives the leaders here, or just kind of lets them by, perhaps. We have still got a big battle here at the bottom part of the top 10. We got side by side with Eric Anderson. Vitor Guillermo gets by him. Vitor makes the move
and Coker
happen.
to the inside wall off of 2. And that is contact, and he decides just to tow it. He's had a rough day. Yeah, just boom.
Hutsky on the pit entry, and he's coming back in. Maybe the car wasn't completely fixed there.
Yeah, even though there's fast repair on these cars, sometimes when you use a fast repair, it doesn't do everything that it's supposed to do, and you still have a bit of a damaged car. So we have seen that happen from time to time, but the leader is LGN. As we are now at lap 88 of 135. Need to get it into a bit of a string here as we had just a host of cautions today. Wags is second. There he is. Jacob Wilson is in third. Craig Forsyth is in fourth. John Martins, their winner at Pocono in our last race. He's in fifth. Mark Murphy in 6th. Vitor in 7th. Gary Lovern in 8th. Eric Anderson in 9th. Go ahead.
I think the big question here, Gary, is that those cars that pit on lap 82, are they good to the end? Or does everybody still need to pit one more time? What's the pit window here? Did I stump you?
53. No, I'm doing math, and at 80% fuel, that's tight.
Yeah, so we had the caution on lap 81. Everybody pit on lap 82. Theoretically, 53 lap, right to the end, to the mark. So if we were to get a green flag situation here, everybody that pit might actually be in a good situation to make it to the end. That's guaranteeing that there's no more cautions, which we've seen a habit of happening around here. But I'm just wondering if those guys that pit may be in a better situation than we think, because we have to start thinking about the end of the race.
Yeah, and Luis Gonzalez Nunez, he is stayed out an inherited track position. He is 23 laps into his stint. He's going to have to come to pit road sooner rather than later before the end of this race. Then Wags, he's 19 laps into his stint. He's much in the same boat. Then we have Jacob Wilson, who is in 3rd as he's getting harassed and hounded by Forsyth. Forsyth on the inside. Forsyth might get the position, but Wilson, he's pitted on lap 57. He's 35 laps into his stint. He's probably going to have to stop again, but you're right. Forsyth might not need to stop again. He pitted on 82. He was part of that crew. So we probably want to pay attention to Forsyth, Martins, and Vitor and Murphy. Those 4 for sure.
I'm sure they're going to be doing this whole stint, doing a little bit of a fuel save anyway. And if they're coming across cars they know they can pass in a situation how it is, they may just say, okay, let me kind of hang back here for about 2 or 3 laps or so, especially if there's chaos ahead. Just work on the cars one by one, especially once you save the amount of fuel you know you have to save and everybody ahead of you has to pit. There's no rush to make those positions up as it is. So I wouldn't be surprised if some of these guys drive a little more reserved here that did that stop on lap 82.
Isong to the inside of Turner Johnson. Decides better of it, stays up high. Look, 3 different lines through turns 1 and 2. Car to the inside, and that is Vitor. That is contact, and that is going to be, well, is he going to be able to back it out and get that thing turned around?
No caution on the track, so it looks like everyone got through safely,
he's
but
going
he's
to
going to tow.
And that is his day is done, so we're going to stay green. LGN is your leader still. And Wags is in 2nd. These two, it really doesn't do these two any good to try to race very hard. They're going to have to stop again.
It's a very difficult situation to be in the I need to stop again camp, because you want to drive as fast as you can and as hard as you can, but you know you're going to lose a lap and a half or so. So you have to kind of make all the moves you can, knowing that you're going to lose the time anyway. You're just hoping that another caution comes out or your whole race is cooked.
And we did not show this, but here are the points early. We didn't show this early in the race, but here are the points coming into this round. And let me remove the bugs there at the top so you can see the points there. Schaus is your points leader by a pretty considerable margin over Murphy. So we're going to see some changes here in the points championship as Schaus is currently 2 laps down and 17th. Murphy in contention in the top 5 at the moment. Pahutsky in 3rd. John Martins in 4th. Jacob Wilson in 5th. And there you see the remainder of the top 20. Make sure to keep an eye on whoever your favorite might be, and we will clear those off and get back to racing. But those are the points coming into this round.
We've gotten ourselves a little more spread out now, so I don't think we're going to have these big, huge incidents through turn 2 that we were seeing before. But like we were talking about before, the uphill part of the exit of turn 2 might cause problems for some guys if they get a little bit loose on the exit, and that could happen to anyone. So we'll keep a watch for it.
Turner Johnson around Eric Anderson. Now Anderson fights back on the high side off a 2. Also involved in the battle is Haisong. Haisong's been trying to get around Turner for the last couple of laps.
find it incredible that Matt Wagner has made his way back up to second place again after falling those 2 laps down and being involved in that incident. It's a very, very good strategy for Matt to be sitting where he is right now.
Yeah, it only does Matt good just to save as much fuel as he can and make this run last as long as possible, because he's going to have to come to pit road sooner rather than later before the end of this race. He's 30 laps into his run. LGN is 34 laps into this run. Jacob Wilson, who's back to 7th now, he's 45 laps into this run. So I would imagine pit road not too far off on the future for a lot of these drivers right here, while the drivers around them not racing them hard because they know they have to stop. Why race them harder when you could just race them smarter when they come to pit road?
We're getting a little more spread out now as this stint goes on. Not a lot of big battles happening on the track right now. Only the Turner-Johnson battle.
Yep, here comes Jacob Wilson to pit road. Green flag pit stop. And you looking how slow he's got to come into pit road very deliberately. I don't think he practiced very many green flag pit stops during practice, but very deliberately getting on down to the pit road entry road, getting down to the speed limit at those cones, and now needing to find where his stall is, as he is kind of up toward the front. So he has a long trip down pit road, and he's going to go down multiple laps here.
That's just it. We got to see how many laps you actually lose when you do a green flag pit stop here. I believe it's 1.5 to almost 2, kind of 1.75 laps if you want to be a nerd about it. You're losing quite a bit of time, and pitting is never the right strategy unless you know everybody's got to pit around you. In which case, you just do your pit stop, you get better tires, and then hope that there is some green flag rotation there, and you don't get caught up in some yellow flag situation where you get stuck a lap like we see right now. There's a car spinning off turn 4.
Casey, it is Casey Povolonis coming off the, and that really, really hurt Jacob Wilson. I mean, he was not going to stay on the lead lap anyways, but goes down 2 laps and then immediately goes under caution. So he is pretty much trapped where he is, unfortunately.
That is the exact same spin that we saw out of, I believe it was Presley that did that, right?
Yep.
Hit the
right
hit
there
the curb on the bottom
on the
side.
curb. Yep.
It is the carbon copy of that incident, and like I said, like it looks like everyone's kind of spread out and doing their own thing, but then you have some of these drivers that are by themselves and maybe not paying so much attention, or they're thinking like, oh my goodness, I have to go to work tomorrow or something like that.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, you drive over an apron and suddenly you're spinning. So it may seem like it's very spread out, but this track always kind of welcomes those situations.
Interesting. Everybody coming to pit road, and the leaders needed to anyways, and Craig Forsyth is going to answer. He's coming as well. John Martin is in 4th. He's coming as well. We're going to get some drivers are going to stay out, and they got to make sure they don't pass under caution here. So they got to watch themselves very carefully. Don't get another black flag.
We're all safe here, it looks like.
It looks so far so good. So LGN's going to bring the train down pit road. Final stops for all of these drivers. Now, I think Forsyth probably is going to come out ahead of everybody because LGN has, well, maybe not. I thought LGN was going to have a shorter fill or longer fill, but it was very close. And so I thought Craig would be a shorter fill since he was coming in a little bit earlier, but nope, not the case. LGN's going to keep coming to pit road with the lead and leave with the lead. Matt Wagner is in 2nd. Forsyth is in 3rd. Martin's in 4th. Murphy in 5th. We do have some cars in front of the leaders. Dinsdale, Jacob Wilson, Marcamini. Who else is up there? Got a car down on the apron. That is Pahutsky. Schaus is going to get 1 lap back here from, looks like, I'm guessing, the wave around, unless he might be the lucky dog, and then we'll get a, not sure how that rule works here. I think everyone will get waved around, and then Hobson might get the lucky dog here. There we go.
So very interesting that, yeah, so John Martins was one of the guys we were seeing that may actually make it to the end, as well as, I think you were saying Forsyth might be
Yeah.
another guy that was very close to it, but they've fallen back now. Now everyone's kind of on the same strategy, but I'm looking at like Gary Laverne, who was collecting that big pileup on turn 2 there and managed to squeak away without any sort of big damage there, and he's sitting in P6. Jeff Haisong also had to kind of take evasive action there. He's managed to find himself into top 7 right now, 7th place. Charles Teed, who's been collected in quite a few incidents tonight, he's in the top 10 right now. So we got a very, very interesting situation here. I'm trying to see if some of these guys really want to push it, or if they're saying, hey, we've had a lot of caution right now. I want to know where my car works a lot and where it doesn't work so much, and see how this race finishes. And we're back on the green.
Green flag, and LGN brings him back to the green flag, and he goes evasive immediately. It is LGN, Wags, Forsyth, Martins, and Murphy, your top 5. Your fast repair situation. LGN has not used his fast repair. He's the only car in the top 5 to not use it. Lovern in 6th has not used his fast repair. Haisong has not used his fast repair. Eric Anderson in 9th, now 10th, has not used his fast repair. But that is it. Everybody else in the top 10 has used their fast repair.
I saw a slow car on the back straight. It was Pahutsky coming out. He's 23 laps down. Probably just trying to pick up some spots as best as he can right now.
Teed to the inside of Turner Johnson in the 3, and Teed will get the position. Move Teed up to 8th. Oh, Eric Anderson taking advantage as well. He might try to. Now here comes Turner again to the inside. Not going to have the preferred line through the corner. If Teed can just keep it up on the high side, he should get it back, but no. Turner Johnson keeps the foot in it, and he's still side by side. Oh, and LGN into the wall.
Yeah, I saw that coming up on a very, very slow car at the exit of 2. I think he did it all by himself. Rode up the hill, and I think he just got a little bit loose and hit the wall all by himself. That's a very unfortunate situation from the lead there. We were talking about how dangerous that exit of turn 2 is, especially if you're coming up the track with such a load on the right rear. They're going up the hill.
He caught it, and oh my gosh, right in front of Wags. And you'll want to check this out. Here is right in front of Wags, right here. And he
takes the evasive action he needed right there.
Right, exactly. And he gets loose right off the exit of the corner, LJ, but he caught it, and then as he caught it then, and it bit, and it turned him right into the outside wall.
Such an unfortunate situation, especially when you feel like you have it saved, and then you're just like, oh, God, the car's going back the other way again.
Oh, car on the inside wall again. Edson Santos.
Yep, Santos is in the wall.
And Marcamini dodges him on the backstretch.
That almost took out, I think that was Lovern that was there, if I'm not mistaken.
No, Lovern was ahead of him, so we had Eric Anderson right around him. And Lewis Hayes.
It was Lewis Hayes that he kind of went right across Hayes' bow. There was a car there. I thought it was Lovern, but it was Lewis Hayes. I think Hayes got away without any damage, if I'm not mistaken. I think his front wing it damaged and it popped itself back into place again. So I think Lewis Hayes is okay.
That's where Lewis Hayes there. He might want to come the pit road anyways and just make sure everything is good to go to get to the end. So, okay, a lot of things have changed now with, and now we see passing on the access road. Not sure what's going on there. But Lewis Hayes is coming to pit road, and he will get that front wing looked at. It is damaged. He'll get that replaced. But now Wags is your leader with 19 to go. Craig Forsyth is in second. Gary Lovern, who was very quietly setting purple laps in that last little green flag sit we have. Don't turn your back on Gary. He's got some pace in him right now, and he is currently in third And then we got John Martins, the winner at Pocono. He is in 4th, and Murph is now in, well, Murph has remained in 5th. Another guy on the move is Haisong. He's up 12 spots from where he started this race. And he's kind of been on the move during these last couple of stints. I've been watching him. He is up to 6th, Turner Johnson 17th, 8th, Peterson 9th, and Dinsdale in 10th. Your biggest mover of the day right now is Wagner. He's up 21 spots from where he started, and Gary Lovern up 16 spots from where he started. Ooh. Anyways.
I'm sorry. I was checking the results from last race because I believe we had, it was John Martins that won. Okay, so it was Jake. I couldn't remember if it was Jacob or not. That was
Wilson, yeah.
The podium there. I got him confused with someone else, but yeah. So you're right. It's very, very good to see these guys that have just been kind of creeping along. They haven't been making these flashy parts of the race here. They've just been kind of hanging out. Guys like Gary Lovern, you were mentioning, Jeff Haisong, Turner Johnson. They're just kind of hanging out there, and they've been avoiding the chaos somehow. Nobody really knows how it's happening, but they've been managing to get themselves crawl up further and further through the field, staying out of trouble, and they're going to get themselves a good finish tonight if they keep this up. And we only got 17 laps when we go back green, I think it is 16, 17.
Yeah, we'll go 17 when they go green, yep.
Yep, so we're gonna have 17 laps, and if they just keep things going how they are and don't really try and push the envelope too much, everybody around them is gonna kind of self-destruct. So it'll be very interesting to see if that actually kind of comes through for them.
Once again, if you're just joining us, you're watching P1's broadcasting coverage of round 3 of 9 of the Dark Horse Racing Series presented by The Joy of Driving. Coming to you from Gateway for the Sim Gaming Expo 135. We're getting ready to go green here with 17 to go. Your leader is Matty Wags, followed by Greg Forsyth and Gary Lovern, your top 3 in the 1.
Wagner gets a great run there on Forsyth, and these two are fierce rivals in the Area 51 series. In every series they do, Wagner and Forsyth are always trying to one-up each other, and Wagner is never happy when Forsyth outdoes him. So Wagner's going to do everything he can. You can see it almost like is like he heard what I said there. He wants to make sure that he has the advantage over Forsyth. So expect Wagner to start doing some crazy things to make sure he wins this race, especially coming from far back in the field like he did.
He's trying to break the draft down the backstretch, but the bit of the dragon weave, staying to the inside, holding that low line, going defensive. Here's Craig. Craig's going to stay right with him. Not going to be able to get close enough to make a move into 1. They're going to be single file off of 2 down the backstretch. Lovern and Martins are getting a little bit of dicey there. Martins now up to 3rd. Lovern back to 4th. Here's Murph to the inside of Gary Lovern. Move Murph now up to P4. Here's that pass for the lead. Here's the inside. Forsyth.
Wagner's going to hang on the outside with everything it's worth. I guarantee you that. Yes, he gets the run there on the outside, has the advantage.
Car
down the back
coming off the
straightaway.
wall
Forsyth
and then to the inside. That's Eric Peterson. He makes contact with the inside wall and toes. No caution. And he did it right in front of his teammate. And again, one of those things, you get really close to that wall on exit, and the back end just comes right on around. And that is day done. Mark Murphy sets the purple lap. So look out, Murph. Closers be closing.
Martins is definitely closed in on the front 2 here. He wants to make mark now. I think he's going to make a move on Forsyth before long here, especially because Forsyth has really used up a lot of momentum and a lot of juice to get by Wagner. Wagner does not want to be passed right now. Martins is ready to pounce.
And does Martins go for 2 in a row? He's got 2 guys in the IndyCar community that have many, many starts ahead of him. Can he pass him? And he gets one of them right there to 3. Now he just has one more in the form of Matt Wagner. Coming to 10 to go this time by Wags to the inside, defensive to the inside, down the backstretch. Swings it out wide so he can get an arc into 3 and 4. Down to the inside, down the front stretch. Martin sticks right with him.
One thing I remember about Matt Wagner is this is one of his best tracks. Wagner just understands how to get around Gateway. He's had great finishes around here in the races that I've seen with him, and I think it will mean so much to him if he's able to pull off a win here tonight. He knows what it takes to hold off the leaders there.
Murph to the inside of Craig, and he gets the position. Yeah, this track just agrees with certain driving styles. This is one of the few tracks that I have some league wins in as well. And Craig might have been into the wall there off of 2. And I have no really love for this racetrack. It just, for whatever reason, agrees with my driving style.
I am the complete opposite of you, Gary. I can't I can't empathize with you here at all. This is not a track that I ever go along with. I forget what side of the track I'm on, and I put too much tools in the car on one side, and I forget if I run high or low and anything. You're right. That just shows it right there. Just as you were saying, this track just agrees with certain people. It really attunes to some people's driving style and rhythm and everything like that, and it does not agree with me at all. So, very, very interesting for comparing it between the two of us.
And we're going to get a bad challenge for the lead. Oh, John, big loose off of 2. He caught it. But now there's a little bit of breathing room between Martins and Wagner. Now 0.3 of a second. And believe me, the way they're racing right now, that is breathing room.
You see Wagner is doing everything he possibly can. He's going inside, outside, and I think he knows what it takes to hold on to the clean air here. And the clean air is going to be the king. And if you can hold on to the clean air as long as you can, you possibly can come away with a win.
But the problem is doing that weave, doing the snake, doing the dragon down the straights is you can mess up your entry into the corner and actually slow yourself down. This time he decides just to stay high. Martin's right with him. 5 to go. Martin washes up a little bit that time. Again, doing a lot of these evasive moves down the backstretch to try to lose that draft, to break the draft. Can break up your driving style a little bit, and here's Martin to the inside. No, he's not going to be able to get a wheel there. 4 to go.
A very, very fast incident happened in the back, no caution. Talk about it after the race.
Wagner has 7 career wins in their Dark Horse Series and 71 starts. Does he get win number 8? Martin's trying to go 2 for 2 in his Dark Horse career.
Doesn't look like Martins has a lot of momentum going for these last couple laps here. I think Wagner's just going to hang it on the high side, knowing that there's nothing that you could do on the bottom end, especially if you have no speed going down the back
Turner
straightaway.
Johnson loose off of 2 into the inside wall. Caution, that is your race right there. Matty Wags is your winner. Martin second, Murphy in third. The field is frozen. We're going to finish this race under caution.
Wow, what a crazy way to end the race. I'm sure Martins was like, okay, I just wanted one more lap to try and dive bomb, and it just didn't work out for him.
And here's what happened to Turner Johnson. Yep, everything
Same
just
as the rest. Up the hill, lost the right rear, around he goes.
And then that little bit of the car sticking out onto the racetrack is enough to flag the yellow here. And that is it. Your race winner is going to be Matt Wagner, getting win number 8 in the series. John Martin, not a bad start to his Dark Horse career. A first and now a second. 2 for 2 in races and podium finishes. And Mark Murphy comes home in third. As we get the checkered flag as a round turn 4. And a very hectic race here tonight at Gateway for the Sim Gaming Expo 135 for the Dark Horse Series, Racing Series, presented by The Joy of Driving. Your winner is Matt Wagner.
Just a quick cursory glance at the points here. I think that John Martins might move into second place. It'll be very close between him and Murph. Eric Schaus is definitely going to keep the lead. No one's touched him so far with his 2 great finishes he's had so far. But Murphy and Martins are going to be second and third in the championship, with Pahutsky falling a little bit, but I think it'll be pretty close from second on back.
Wags with the win. John Martin second. Mark Murphy in third. We got Forsyth, who's had a really bad up and down day, a race that he doesn't really want to remember. He does come home with the top 5 in 4th. Gary Lover, a great finish in 5th. Jeff Hysong in 6th. Teed in 7th. Mark Amini in 8th. Casey Povolonis in 9th. And Eric Anderson. He had a pretty good race, too. He went down in the order and came back up, and he got himself a top 10. Wags, 21 spots gained. He's your biggest gainer of the day. 14 for Lovern, 12 for Hysong, 13 for Teed. All these guys just avoiding trouble, maybe got into trouble and just got into it early and avoided it late. And Schaus, our points leader, started from the pole. Rough day for him. Comes home 11th. Turner Johnson in 12th. Hobson in 13th. Wilson in 14th. Dinsdale 15th. Then we got Peterson, Hayes, Santos, LGN, and Pahutsky, your top 20. Each one of these drivers, again, we're having pretty good days. And one thing or another kind of derailed it. And then Vitor, Coker, Presley, Averett, and Salvador, your top 25 there in a 25-car field. Wags going to do a little bit of a Polish victory lap. All right. Just need to queue up some replays and we'll get into the interview room. All right. Get on into the interview room here, and I do see Murph in at least one room, and I can bring him down here and talk with him. We'll bring him on down right now. Mark Murphy joins us in the booth for finishing third today. What really were the conditions like out there? It looks like a lot of people were having trouble with snap loose, and it was kind of a reoccurring theme throughout the entire race, whether it be coming off of 4, although a lot of those had to do with people grabbing the apron, but snap loose off of 2, and it seems to be a reoccurring problem with this racetrack and with these cars. It's just not how was the setup? Was it just bad after a while, or what?
Hey Gary, hey Andrew. Fresh out of my retirement home. Look, I thought the setup was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
The line here is different in these cars than it is in the 18. And so if you run the same line in 1 and 2 in a DW12, it will snap loose with you. So you just got to run a car a little bit differently. And, because it's got that giant T-tray on the front of it, or barn door, or I don't know. I mean, I think Andrew could park his station wagon on top of that front wing. I mean, it's huge and there's just so much downforce. So you've got to drive the car differently. And if you don't account for the extra downforce that the front of this package generates, it'll snap with you coming off exit, especially if you got a handful of wheel.
Is
Go
there
ahead,
a
Andrew.
is there a situation in this race where you felt like there was kind of no hope to get back to the front again? Because I mean, everybody in this race went forward, backward, and everything like that. It seemed like you were able to really make some sneaky moves that really took people by surprise. And did you feel like that was your way back to the front again? Did you feel like you were going to finish in the front, or did you feel like it was a little too chaotic for you to finish where you finished? Talk us through how you came through the field and fell back and did all that.
I mean, I just asked myself, what would Andrew Wood do? And that's just stand on it. I mean, look, I mean, I understand the deal with Edson was just pure net code, and that's nobody's fault. You know, in my in my car, it was he phased into me like he was inside of my car, and then I went spinning. Thankfully, didn't hit anything hard enough to. I mean, it hit hard, but it didn't hit hard enough to make it so I couldn't drive it back. Although it did blow up coming down pit road, so thankfully the fast repair was there. No, I mean, I could tell that guys were very much driving. They were very much driving the track like it was an IR18, and I knew that. I knew especially. You could tell guys had too much wheel coming off of turn two, and you could tell that they were carrying. That they were trying to run that low arcing line on that seam, and you can't do that. You have to enter high and come off low and come off with the wheel straight because the front end will grip up and it'll snap you around here. And you know, I could tell guys were doing that, and so people were losing momentum. They didn't really understand. They didn't really understand they had to guard that high line through one and two. So they pull over the left to throw the block going down the front straights, and it's like, well, thank you very much. I'll just go by, and we did that a bunch, and it was, it got harder the further forward you got, but I'm happy to finish where it was a good day in the points for sure, and they pay the money at the end, not for every race. So, that's where my mind needs to. That's where your mind needs to be here. I mean, we had a great day in the points. I think we picked up.
Yeah, we got the points updated here. Yeah, we got the points updated here. Schaus is your leader by 19 over you. You moved up to actually you just maintained pace in second there. John Martins is in third. Craig Forsyth is in fourth, and Matt Wagner up an incredible 22 spots with the win. He is now in fifth. So top five.
But that's the thing. I mean, you pick up 13, 10 here, 12 here, 15 there. It's a long season, and he's not really had a whole bunch of bad luck yet. So, he's been upside down yet. So, we'll just keep after it. It's finishing on the podium, and it's being consistent across a lot of awesome tracks here in Dark Horse. We've been to a mile and a half. We've been to the Triangle. We've been to Gateway, which is probably one of the most unique tracks that any of us race at. And then 3 weeks we'll go to Iowa, and that's going to be a ton of fun too. I mean, that's another, it's a short oval, and I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to Auto Club Michigan and Indy too. I mean, there's some unique tracks on here, and there are some drivers tracks on here, and so we'll see how it shakes out for sure.
Real quick, shout outs, friends, family, sponsors, anyone want to say hi to before we let you go?
Yeah, first thing I got to say is it was so doggone cool to have contributed to the delinquency of Andrew Wood at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway last week. It was good to see you. It was good to see Stouffer and Clindy and Mason Mitchum and everybody down there for certain. Sure, my wallet's a little bit lighter, but my heart's a lot more full, and that was a cool pre-race. So thanks for hooking up with us, Wood.
We had to avoid some rain. It rained a little bit, but yeah, it was cool for sure.
Yeah. Everybody at Indy Alliance, that it's, even though I've taken a step back from driving full time, it's still fun to, get in and spot for guys and do some of the private testing and some of the things that I haven't been able to do because I haven't had the time. So it's fun. It's still fun being a part of that team. shout out to everybody at P1. We've been having a heck of a good week, and so just pleased to see the channel doing as well as it is. Everybody that signed up for the P1 600, the entry list went out today. We got 31 cars signed up for that, I believe. Would you need to pay me $100 bill to get your car in late? Beyond that, shout out to Admin Box, Race Control at the touch of a button, Black Magic Studios, everybody over there, and thanks to Dark Horse and everybody that puts this league on. It's a ton of fun, man. It's a lot of fun, and I'm having fun, and that's what we'll keep doing. All
right, well, Mark. Yeah, Mark, this is your 9th career top 5, 12th career top 10, and 14 starts. So pretty consistent. If you start a race, chances are you're going to bring it home in the top 5 or certainly in the top 10. Congratulations, and we'll catch you in a couple weeks when we head to Iowa.
For sure, man. Gary, Andrew, thank you so much for all you guys do. Have a great rest of your night.
No problem. Mark Murphy finishes in 3rd. Let's bring up, I don't see John, and there might be a language barrier there, and if that's okay, because what we'll do is we'll put his car on the screen, show you his progress for the day. There you see that the finished 2nd, started 9th, got up to led some few laps, got down as low as 23rd at one point with some shenanigans that happened to him on the racetrack. And there he goes. He even got credit for 14 of laps here leading out of 135. And I don't see him, but if he has anything, he adds anything in chat, it will be in the Dark Horse Discord. And again, for folks watching at home, if you are interested in being a part of the Dark Horse Series, to join the Dark Horse Series, the car's free, the league's free. All you need are the tracks and the drive. So the link for their Discord server is in the description, and then you could click on that in order to get started with your Dark Horse career. Let's bring up Matt Wagner, and here is Matt Wagner in the booth with us. Matty Wags, 8th career win here in the Dark Horse Racing Series with the DW12s. Congratulations. But you had to work for it there until the end when that caution kind of gave you a little bit of breathing room that you could rest assured that wasn't going to be a complete drag race to the finish. But John Martin's no slouch. He was racing you to the bitter end there.
Yeah, he was no slouch. I was kind of like, as you would say, mirror driving a little bit. I really don't do much mirror driving here. I really tend to focus forward, but the draft here is so massive that I know passing is really impossible as long as you hold that high line up in turns 1 and 2. After a long run, he won't be able to, as you would say, get the run off of 1 and 2 to make the pass on the 3 and 4. So holding that top line on 1 and 2 was the key to victory, pretty much.
Go ahead, Andrew.
So I'm wondering, I asked the same question to Murph too. There was a lot of yo-yoing through the field, the up, the down. You fell a couple laps down because you got collected in an incident. What exactly strategy moves did you feel like you had to go back and forth with to make sure that you were going to finish on the top step today, or even get a relatively good finish? Like the top step was obviously like kind of a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, but
yeah, I know.
How did you make your strategy changes as the race went on?
Andrew, that's a really good question. But at first, when I got into it and I had to tow for like 2.5 minutes, I thought my race was over. Literally, I thought it was over. And then Murph reminded me, hey Matt, you're the only 2 laps down. You just have to sit there and be patient. So I'm like, okay. So I did exactly what he said. I listen to Mark a lot, and I know it sounds
you fool.
I know, and I know it sounds kind of bad, but I listened to him and I took his strategy of staying like pretty much like way away from everybody else, and just kind of hope don't get involved in any incidents. So I was about half lap down from everybody, just sitting there, minding my own business, and hopefully we'll get back on the lead lap. And I did. And a little pit strategy kind of helped as only 3 cars what was it, 2 cars stayed out under the last caution. And oh boy, I guess LGN kind of like pushed it just a little bit too hard. Shout out to Louise. We raced each other really hard up in the Dark Horse series. Not Dark Horse, but Lionheart. We went back and forth, and it was kind of
you had quite a dodge there, Matt, to avoid LGN, I must say.
I
just a car coming across the track. There's this green car that went flying down the inside, and it's almost like you predicted something might happen there.
Okay, so I'm going to say something here off the record. There is absolutely nothing wrong with the set tonight. It's all about how you drive it, how you take care of your tires. Don't burn up your right front, right rear tires. As soon as that right front and that right rear is starting to cook, you're gonna really kind of spin your stuff, your stuff, and it's gonna be really bad out there. So you're gonna have a very bad time. I was trying to conserve my stuff, mostly right behind LGN because I knew I wasn't going to pit again. I was happy with second there. I really was. I would just take my second and just go on, but I just couldn't believe that happened.
Well, you got the win, your 8th career win here in the series. Any shout-outs, any friends, family, sponsors, anyone want to say hi to before we let you go? Big celebration here. When was your last win here in the Dark Horse Series? You remember?
That's a really good question. I think it was Watkins Glen. Maybe.
Road racer. All right.
I was able to save fuel.
Okay.
Extra. I was able to beat Rick Ravon on the. He had to pit on the last lap.
Oh,
so he kind of burned his stuff up too much, and I just drive on by. So I think that was my last win. I did have a win in Texas too. So right here, this place is very special. I love this track so much. I can't wait to see it remodeled. I think, are they doing that for the update for this track?
I think all of them are, especially if they're if NASCAR races there. Remember, it's a NASCAR world. We live in it. So
don't get me started on that.
I kept my mouth shut. I knew where you were going there.
Don't get me freaking started about that because I will talk all day long. Anyway, shout out the guys at Dark Horse made this setup here very possible. It was a very good setup. I enjoyed it very much. Shout out to the guys at AMA for the stock cars, the tin tops I drive every Friday. You can see that here on P1 every Friday with Mark Murphy and you know who broadcasting, Sam Crow. Big shout out to you guys in the booth at P1. You guys do a very good job. Andrew Wood, if you're going to be at the Sim Gaming Expo, I will see you in September if I don't get to talk to you very soon. So other than that, I don't have anything else. Guys, take it easy. Oh, wait. Shout out to Mark Cohn. I know he wasn't here tonight. Shout out to my buddy Mark Cohn. Love you, brother. And my teammate Mark Murphy. Other than that, you all have a splendid evening.
Congratulations on the win again. 8th career win here in the Dark Horse Series. He was 5th, still continues to be 5th all time in series wins. Actually, you're now, well, I take that back. You are actually 4th because it's Robert Malechka has the most with 14, then Rick Ravon with 13. Craig and Nick DeGrooter tied at 11, so now you're behind them in 4th with 8. So a couple more, and you join that 3-way tie for 3rd. And we've seen before that when drivers can get on a roll in this series, and maybe this is just the start of your roll. Congratulations on the win, and we'll catch you in a couple weeks when we get to Iowa.
All right. I'm looking forward to Iowa.
Andrew, a bit more of a still kind of the same thing that we've seen some good this season. 3 different races, 3 different winners. That is good. A lot of parity at the top. A lot of the bad is we still continue to see a lot of cautions, which makes me think that some people really aren't putting in the practice they need. And we now have 3 weeks before we get to our next race. I think the best thing on the agenda is maybe get some practice laps in at Iowa, because Iowa is It's basically just a smaller version of what we were just on here, but everything just seems to happen so fast at Iowa because it's such a tiny place.
Yeah, Iowa is a glorified super speedway, and we've both driven these cars. We know what they're like. They tend to burn up the right rear pretty good, and you get loose very easily. So I think you're right that these guys probably just put in a little bit more time practicing, and we'll have a much cleaner race. But I'm excited to see who comes out on top at Iowa. I think that that's going to be a very good race. And some of these guys that really have been hanging out in the top part of this field, they're actually going to do well there. And I think that we're going to see some of the regular names back up front again. And I think we're going to have a really good race when we get out there to Iowa.
And once again, here are your points. Schaus is still your leader. He has 117 points. Murphy is in second. He has 98. John Martin's in third with 92. Greg Forsyth in fourth with 80 points. Then Wags with the win is now in fifth with 69 points, 1 point ahead of Casey Pahutsky in sixth. Then Jacob Wilson in seventh, Eric Peterson in eighth, AJ Hobson in ninth, and Gary Lovern in 10th. That is your top 10, leaving Gateway and heading into our next race at Iowa. Let's get on out of here and give everyone back their Sunday nights to start the week off. And we'll get on out of here and get on with our evenings as well. So that's it for tonight. Your winner is Matt Wagner here at Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway. This is Gateway week here on the for the broadcast team. LGN and I will be back at Gateway Thursday night for the Elite Racing League's Warriors for Peace IndyCar Series, their finale here. Andrew will be there too. He'll be in the field. So we still got more to do at Gateway on the channel this week. Also, don't forget tomorrow, the IndyCar Open Series will have Championship Monday right here at Gateway. We will decide that championship for Week 12 of Season 2 of 2025. So it is Gateway Week here. So don't miss it. Your podium here for the Sim Gaming Expo 135 is Matty Wags with the win. John Martin with his second straight race. Got a win last time. Comes home P2 this time. 2 races, 2 podiums. And Mark Murphy, again, brings it in for another solid podium finish that comes home in third. Join Andrew and myself again Sunday, June 22nd for round 4 of the Dark Horse Racing Series. It's the teams and drivers head to Corn Country, and Iowa Speedway coverage begins around 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, that's 8:00 p.m. Eastern. Remember, it is still a new season, and as always, you can find everything right here at YouTube at youtube.com/@P1 Broadcasting. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not an easy one, so please help support P1 with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below. Let us know your thoughts. Nice race. If you enjoyed tonight's coverage, support us by smashing like in the video. If you're new, click subscribe, and while you're at it, hit the bell for weekly reminders so don't miss out on more P1's other iRacing programming, including our open wheel doubleheader on Monday. Join Murph and Clinty at 8 p.m. Eastern for Championship Monday in the iRacing IndyCar Open Series right here at Gateway. And stick around for a little bit after for myself and LGN when we go with the Sim Gaming Expo ISRA Open Wheel Series at 9:35 p.m. Eastern Time, as they will take on their first ever road course at Road America. If you like iRacing IndyCar racing, then make P1 your home on Monday nights. Dark Horse Racing Series is presented by The Joy of Driving. Looking for entertaining sim racing content? Well, who is it? Look for no further than The Joy of Driving. Join Mark Cohn's racing escapades as he battles for wins and avoids wrecks with cat-like reflexes, all the while providing commentary to make sure you laugh, cry, or do both. Follow along by subscribing to The Joy of Driving on YouTube or like his Facebook page at The Joy of Driving. All the links you need are in the description. Tonight's race has also been brought to you by 4D Racewear and SimWrap Market. Check out 4D Racewear's made for sim racing line of gloves, shoes, and apparel. Visit them today at 4dracewear.com or click on the link in the description. SimWrap Market is your go-to source for iRacing paint templates and broadcast resources. From clean base liveries to pro-level design assets, SimWrap Market has everything you need to build your brand on track. Visit simwrapmarket.com, download, customize, race. Tonight's Gateway 135 has been brought to you by the Sim Gaming Expo. Get ready for the ultimate simulation gaming experience. The Sim Gaming Expo is bringing all genres Now, simulation and gaming technology under one roof. Join us September 5th through 7th in Chicagoland at the Schaumburg Convention Center to try out the latest sim gear for the biggest brands in the industry. Meet your favorite streamers and celebrate your passion for simulation with the incredible community. Don't miss out. To learn more or to get your tickets now, go to simgamingexpo.com and be a part of simulation gaming history today. Track cams for this race are provided by Whiplash Sim Cams. Get the most out of your iRacing experience with Whiplash Sim Cams. To learn more about Whiplash, like them on Facebook. You can follow them on X and Instagram. And again, all the links you need are in the description for business inquiries. To learn more about P1 and what we do, like us on Facebook. You can follow us on X and Instagram. And you can follow all of our social links. They are cataloged on Linktree. You can check those out in the description. So for Andrew Wood, everyone here at Dark Horse and the Joy of Driving and the Sim Gaming Expo, I'm Gary Gatso saying thanks for watching. And to all of our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Catch us again right here June 22nd in Iowa for the next race of the Dark Horse Racing Series presented by The Joy of Driving. And it's all right here on P1. Good night.